Good evening, everyone. Myself, Ashu Sharma. I welcome you all in this session overview on MongoDB. So in previous video, we have just gone through the concept of comparative study of MongoDB and MySQL. So very much similarities were there, but once we talk about the flexibility, about the structure of the schema that we built in MongoDB is quite much there in compared with MySQL. So today we will see some of the important points that related to MongoDB. Let's start with next slide. Okay, MongoDB consists of a set of database. Each database again consists of collections. Data in MongoDB is stored in collections, and this given figure depicts the typical database structure in MongoDB. So we have this MongoDB, then we have a collections, and then we have documents. So we may say that database consists of collections, and in collection itself, there are different documents together. So this is that just a block diagram. You can represent how this MongoDB that approach towards that database and its structure. Move to the next slide. That database in MongoDB is nothing but a container for collections. This container is a wonderful term. Somewhere you heard about that basket also. So this is important for the storage as cloud computing concept. You also just consider those containers and baskets for the storage purpose. So it is important for collections as well. In Java itself, a collection framework is there. So it's a wonderful feature of having this collection sort of thing. We will learn how to create a new database and drop a database and how to use an existing database in upcoming sessions. And very first thing that we require to understand exactly about the collections in MongoDB. So collection is nothing but it's a set of MongoDB documents, as we have seen in previous slide that we have that collection of documents. So it's a set of MongoDB documents. These documents are equivalent to the row of the data in tables in RDBMS. So we may consider that these documents are very much similar as rows of data in tables in relational database management system. But collections in MongoDB do not relate to any set of schema as compared to RDBMS. Collections are a way of storing related data, and you can say being schema-less, any type of document can be saved in a collection because it doesn't that having schema that we have in MongoDB. So any type of document can be saved in collection, although similarly recommended for index efficiency. Documents can not have a maximum size of 4 MB. So this is that collection is all about while it is a set of documents. We can use namespace to logically group and nest collections. For example, there can be one collection named db.study tonight.users to save user information, and there can be other like that forum questions and forum answers to store forum questions and answers respectively. We have wonderful application spoken tutorial by IIT Bombay in which we have such kind of forums. Most of these online learning that portals, we find these forum questions and answer you may post after the session or during the live session. So such kind of that collection of documents is a wonderful application that we consider under this namespace that logically group, and that collection is somewhere around nested one. So this is important. Now the next is if we create an index on a namespaced collection, it will only apply on that namespace. We will learn later in this tutorial how to create indexes. So it index is dependent upon the namespace. It totally depends upon the namespace, and it will only apply on that namespace, as we have seen in this example that db.study2night.users or db.study2night.forum questions. So this label is there on this namespace that depends on indexing So it's very important that where to apply indexing on the basis of the namespace. A collection is physically created as soon as the first document is created in it. So whenever we create, there are multiple documents inside a collection. So a collection is physically created once the first document is created in it. You must be wondering why create multiple collections with different namespaces when we can keep any form of data in a single collection itself. There is a reason behind that. MongoDB does not index attributes for totally unrelated documents. So it is advised to keep related data in collections. So it is advised we have to keep that related data into the collections. Documents in MongoDB. Document in MongoDB is nothing but the set of key value pairs, as we have seen in previous video also, that whenever we try to store any data set, it is a key value pair combination. So these documents will have dynamic schema, as I said you, that flexibility towards designing of a schema. So which means that the documents in the same collection do not need to possesses the same set of fields. It might be some different fields over there. Since MongoDB is considered as a schema-less database, each collection can hold different types of objects. Every object in a collection is known as document, which is represented in a JSON like JavaScript object notation. And a structure is nothing but a list of key value pair. Data is stored and queried in JSON. It's binary representation of JSON like data. So B stands for binary, which is the representation of JSON like data. You can know more about binary SON format from the web pages. We will discuss later sessions of this series, MongoDB. So there we will discuss BSON. Move to the next slide. So this is that diagram represents that we have document 1, document 2, document n, and all these documents under a collection. So sample data in MongoDB, and you see there are various fields like ID, student name, registration number, course, and address. So a collection can have multiple documents. I earlier said you collection can have multiple documents and having different that properties and characteristics. So this is important that. So first we come with the database, then we have a collection, MongoDB, and then we have collections, and then we have documents. This is the way that we approach towards a document part. And one collection having different documents, but on the basis of the namespace, we have to make that realistic data storage under that different collections. So this is also very, very important. That's why we require multiple collections for multiple data sets to store. Now, here is another point that in the above figure, that the field ID, like this ID, underscore ID represents the primary key identifier of the given documents. MongoDB also stores the values in the form of arrays of values as well. In fact, any type of data can be stored as values and nothing requires to be predefined. In other words, you do not have to predefine the type of the data to be stored. You can store anything you want. Remember, MongoDB is schema-less. This is very, very, very important point, that MongoDB is schema-less. So it is some way that different from that you can say those RDBMS type of thing in which we have to restrict with that schema concept, and in it that documents are not identified by a symbol ID, but in object identifier type. So the default ID is a combination of machine identifier, timestamp, and the process ID to keep it unique. But user can changes it to anything. So once you say about the default ID, you can't say about only a simple ID is there, that documents are not identified by a simple ID, but an object identifier type. So that default ID is a combination of machine identifier, timestamp, and process ID to keep it unique. But user can change it to anything. So as we have this given segment array as value, we have this ID. So ID is 112233, name is given. Then education, under that we have year, course, and college. So this is the two documents we have. data set, year, course, college, and this one is another. So this is the array as values under this rectangular bracket. You are just seeing this segment. This is the rectangular bracket. So this is the notation of that given. Then we have to find out the size of array at that time we use with the syntax. So now that example of different data types in one document, as I mentioned that in a single collection, there are different documents, and in a document, there are different data types. So here we have one example that the value of the fields in a document can be anything, including other documents, arrays and arrays of documents, date, object, and a string. So here we can say that ID, this is that object ID that I have just given you a clue about that default object ID, which is the combination of timestamp and there is that machine generated ID as well as, and this is that given value of timestamp, that machine identifier and process ID to keep it unique. So here we have name, there are different strings and then date, it is also there, and this is that combination that we have. This is the array of the documents and the values, Turing machine, Turing tested, Turing green. So this is that view, that number long. So different types are given inside one document, where my doc. Under my doc, there are different data types given. So this may happen into a single document. So this is a very important syntax that we have seen over here. So thank you very much for being with us in this session. If you like this video, please subscribe my channel and press the bell icon so you may get notification whenever I upload new video. Today's session, we have seen about that MongoDB overview, how it is a schema-less concept, and how that we correlate the concept of collections, as well as inside collection there are multiple documents, and in single document we have different data types together. So we have seen two examples and discussed some of the basic points of that MongoDB, how it is some way around wonderful database to use nowadays for web applications and some other industries and enterprise and mobile-based applications as well. So this is wonderful topic, and we will continue further in next sessions with some practical stuff as well. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.